episode 32 of my Yarny Corner. My name's Alex and I live in Yorkshire in the UK, and this is a podcast all about knitting and crochet and sewing. I hope you're all okay, and I hope you've had a lovely, lovely crafty 2 weeks. I seem to have lost my train of thought on what I say. Today is Thursday, the 5th of May, and it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. I've just done the school run, taken Finn to school. So yes, and I'm going to try not to say all the way through the podcast this time. So I'll leave all the information about where you can find me in the description box below this video, and anything that I talk about in the video will be linked below as well. So I think that mouthful is everything. How are we all? I hope you're all okay, and I hope you've had a lovely crafty 2 weeks. We've got lots to talk about today. Well, I'm saying lots. I don't know how much lots, but we've got a few things to talk about today. I do have some finished objects, and I've got some works in progress. If you remember on the last episode, I talked about all the things that I was going to cast on. So we'll talk about what I actually cast on and what I didn't. Which reminds me, I just need to grab another project bag. Wait there. Right, I think I'm all prepared this time. So yes, thank you for the lovely comments after the last video about all the things that I was going to cast on. I think sometimes you just need to cast on all the things. I didn't actually cast on as many projects as I showed you, which we all knew was going to happen anyway. This is me. I get sidetracked by shiny objects, and this is how things go. So we will get straight into the knitting, and oh, actually, before we get into the knitting, I just want to talk about the make-along. I am running a make-along over on Instagram. The hashtag is #InspirationMakeAlong. I'll pop that on the screen. Thank you for the people that have already been putting things into the hashtag. The idea of the make-along is to show people that they've inspired you, just to spread that love a little bit. It doesn't have to be a podcaster, it can be anybody. You have to... How do I explain it? You have to make a project that you've been inspired to make by somebody else. That is the only rule. And when you put your project onto Instagram, you need to tag that person in the post as well. So you could have seen a podcaster make a pair of socks and you wanted to make the same pair of socks. So that would be your inspiration. You could have seen some yarn and that inspired you to make a project. So you would tag the yarn dyer. You could have seen a bag that somebody had made. It can be absolutely anything. Whatever your inspiration was for that project is what you need to tag into the hashtag. And it is just to show people that we do inspire each other every single day, and just to show that a little bit. That's what the make-along is all about. It started on... Excuse the dog, she's obviously joining in the podcast today, aren't you, darling? And you're licking, stop licking. Sidetracked again, sorry. So the make-along started on the 1st of May, and it's going to run right up until the 30th of September. I think I've been saying the 31st of September, haven't I, all the way through this? There isn't 31 days in September, is there? There's 30. So it will finish on the 30th of September. There will be monthly pattern prizes. So each month, on the 1st of each month, I will pick a winner, and you will win a pattern prize up to the value of £10 on Ravelry. And if you don't have Ravelry, we can work something out, so don't worry. And at the end, there'll be a few more prizes. There'll be yarn, probably a project bag, and a few little bits for the overall winner. It's been really nice. I've been keeping a little notebook going as well, and I'm writing all the patterns down. So I'm going to have a long list of patterns by the time I'm done. I think every single post that's in there at the moment, I want the pattern. So I'll certainly have lots to do. I'm going to be entering my socks that I'm doing at the moment, which are the By the Shaw socks. And I was inspired by Davina to make those from Little Workroom Crafts. So they will be my first entry, and I have another entry as well, which is also inspired by Davina. So she's clearly my inspiration at the moment. If you don't watch Little Workroom Crafts, she's lovely. She's absolutely, I'm sure you all do. I think everybody that watches me watches Davina, but yeah, and she makes some beautiful, beautiful things. So if the make-along sounds like something that you want to have a go with, you don't have to finish. There's no deadline to finish. Whips are perfectly acceptable as long as they're not 50% done. You know, I don't want to just add in something that you've just got to cast off. But yeah, add your whips, and there's no pressure to finish whatsoever. It's just about sharing the inspiration. That's all it's about. It's lovely to see all the finished projects, if there are any, but it's certainly not a stipulation. I'm really sorry about the dog scratching. Will you stop scratching? Come and sit here. Come and sit here. Come on. Come on in. Come on in. She's ignoring me now. So, yes, that is the make-along. Let me say hello. Here she is. This is Ruby. She's such a diva. She's a chug. She's a cross with a pug and a chihuahua. And she's an absolute utter diva. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's my best friend, aren't you, darling? You really are. But yeah, she chases the cats. The next door neighbours, I'm going off on a tangent here, sorry. The next door neighbours have a big Alsatian, and she barks and she really makes herself known to the poor dog next door. And the dog's huge and she don't make a murmur with her. She really doesn't. And Ruby's all at her all the time, and she just puts up with her because she's such a little diva. Yes. And when the postman knocks, oh my God. Anyway, so we will start talking about finished objects. Now, these are the ones that I wanted to cast on last week. Last fortnight. I showed these on the podcast last time. I'll just pop them onto blockers. And these are what I was wanting to cast on. Now, these are the Cozy Sweatshirt Socks. Oh, they're absolutely gorgeous. I can't remember whether they were a free pattern or not. I think they were a free pattern on Ravelry. I'll link the pattern below anyway. And they're made with 4-ply yarn. We just get them looking good on the blockers. So, this is them, and I am so pleased with them. So these all don't look as great on the blockers because they're not sitting properly. Aren't they gorgeous? I'll put a picture on the screen of me wearing them and you can see how they look when they're actually on. But yeah, these are them. Oh, I so love these socks. I was really worried about running out of yarn because obviously this section is quite long. So all the way down here, I was weighing the yarn constantly, and I did put contrast heels and toes in just to ensure that I had enough yarn. Now, modifications I made. This bit here should have been double. There was 2 repeats of this one. I only did 1 because, again, I was worried about the yarn. But that was it. I cast on 60 stitches, and I didn't do the heel that the pattern called for. I think it was a heel flap and gusset in the pattern. I just did shadow wrap heel, and I don't know what the toe was in the pattern, but I just do my standard Kitchener toe. I don't know what it's called, just the standard toe. And I did add an extra round of knit stitches at the bottom here. If I do them again, I will add a couple more extra rounds of stitches because of the heel that I put in, but they're absolutely fine. They don't fall down, but I could have just done with a little bit more here because you decrease the stitches back. You increase the stitches for the leg, so you get this slouchy effect, and then you decrease back for the foot, and I should have just put another couple of rows of stitches in there, but that's the only changes I'd make in the future. These are on my Ravelry. I have been adding projects to Ravelry. I know, check me out. So I have added all my information on Ravelry, and you know, it's so much easier using Ravelry project pages. I don't know why I've not done it before, especially when you make modifications. Because when I come to make these again, I've got it all written down what I did. Why have I not used Ravelry before? So yeah, they're on my Ravelry and I just absolutely love them. I've saved them to the podcast. I so wanted to put them on the other night, but I saved them for the podcast. They were all nice and lovely when I showed you, and I hadn't been wearing them. So yeah, they're just gorgeous. And this yarn is beautiful. This yarn I got from my friend Sue in Canada. And I think it was a Ravenswood Fibre Company yarn. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. And the red one is one of our colourways. This is the Autumn Rose colourway. But yeah, aren't they just beautiful? They are so cosy. So that is finished object number 1, and now I can finally wear them. So I'm going to get a nice bath tonight, and I'm going to put these on after my bath. You watch, it'll be really warm tonight and I won't be able to wear them. But yeah, I could have done with them last night. It was freezing last night, absolutely properly freezing. But yeah, so there are those. Now, the second finished object that I have, I didn't even mention on the last podcast. This came out of the blue. So Hannah from the Cozy Cottage Crochet, she has a YouTube channel. It's fantastic. I will link it below. She has brought out a new pattern and it's called the Belong Wrap. I'll put a picture on the screen. Now, I am a patron of Hannah's podcast, and she put a testing call out. I think it was last week. I have been eyeing up this pattern since she's been showing it on the podcast. It's beautiful. It is crochet. So she put a testing call out for the pattern, and I think I was the first, and I was like, yep, I'm doing it, and I want to do it in the rainbow colours. So I was lucky enough to test this for Hannah. Oh my God. First of all, I'll put a picture on the screen of me wearing it. I don't even know how I finished this, other than just to say that I didn't work on anything else. Once I started this project, that was it. That's all I did. I worked on nothing else during that time. And I managed to finish it. I don't quite know how, but it was the most relaxing, mindful, satisfying, because you're changing colours all the time. Just amazing project. So this is it. This is the Belong Wrap. This pattern will be out early June. And obviously, you can tell by the colours, it is coming out in time for Pride Month. Isn't it just beautiful? I will wear this with pride. I really will. It's gorgeous. It's such a beautiful pattern. It just keeps going. It's huge. So you can wear it like a wrap, or you can wear it like a scarf. And there's this gorgeous ribbon detail on it, and you see. And then this gorgeous texture here. It's just beautiful. I just love it. I really, I've got a sticking out bit on my nail. I need to file it. It's catching on everything that I'm touching. If I keep looking at my nail, that's why. But yeah, isn't it just... I mean, obviously in the winter, when it's freezing cold outside, and you're there in your big wrap, oh, you could just keep wrapping it round. I've still got all this left. It's gorgeous. And as a wrap as well, I can take it back off. Got myself in a tangle, as usual. Isn't it beautiful? It's just gorgeous. I couldn't put it down. I just could not put it down. I started here at the red. Now I've used Stylecraft Special DK for all of this. So it was really cost effective to make it, because there's a lot of yarn here. It was 6 balls of yarn, and I used I think each ball I had between 15 and 25 grams left. I don't know why I had such a vary amount of yarn in each. I think when you get the yarn, there's always slightly more grams than what they say, so I think that's probably why there's that difference on how much I had left. But yeah, I used approximately about 75 to 85 grams per ball. But yeah, I started here and then went into the orange, and it was so satisfying changing colours. This bit here was my absolute favourite bit, putting this ribbon section on. It's just stunning, absolutely stunning. If you like crochet patterns, I cannot recommend this enough. It's so squishy and soft. I did block it. I used the steam block. I steam blocked it. With it being acrylic, and it blocked beautiful, so it's got this gorgeous drape. It blocked really nicely. But yeah, so that is my second finished object, and I am so pleased with it. So let me just have a drink. It's a bit chilly actually, I might keep this on. You are wanting to know what I actually cast on after the last episode. I can't remember what I even talked about, you know. There was one We'll start with that one. So we're moving on to whips, by the way. Are you all keeping up? So my first one that I wanted to cast on was this one. It's the Blue Jean Saturday Shawl. Now, try not to show any of the pattern. I think this was a free pattern as well. There we go. Can you see that? So this is, I believe, a one skein project. Yes, it's a one skein project. Now, what I did with this one is I did cast this on after the last episode, and I did it in the drops. It's in here, actually. Cleaned my cupboard out again. And I can't find anything in it because I've cleaned it out and tidied it, and now nothing's in the right place. Anyway, get my wrap back on. So I cast it on in this. This was what I started the boxy in, and I just, the boxy was too much for me. There was too many stitches. But it's the Drops Nord, and I think it's, yeah, it's an alpaca and wool mix. And the colourway is, drum roll please, number 7. But that's what I cast this project on in it, and I really didn't like it in this colour. So I scrapped that idea, I pulled it back out. I hadn't got very far in it. Let me just pop that back in there. So I scrapped that idea, and I haven't cast it on yet because I've run out of needles. I need some more. Well, I haven't run out of needles, I've run out of cables. I need to buy some more cables. So this is waiting for a cable. But I'm going to cast it on with this, which is the Attic Spin Die. Oh, my stitch mark has fallen down. This is one that I got for my birthday, and the colourway is Peacock. And look at that gorgeous stitch marker. It's a peacock. You see, it's not focusing. Try and move myself out the way. There you go. It's gorgeous, isn't it? And this is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. So that is what I'm going to be doing it in. I'm just waiting for needles. So it's currently just sitting patiently in my bag. This bag is from Crazy Daisy Designs. She has an Etsy shop, which I will link below in the description box. And this is my ultimate favourite bag. Oops. I just love it. I love the cow print on it. And I have a matching Notions pouch, which is just over there. Isn't it gorgeous? So that is just waiting at the moment. But I do have some whips. So, can we just take a minute? I've talked about my friend Sue in Canada before, and she was going to Knit City, you know, the big yarn event over there. And she said, if there's anything that you want, just let me know. And she said, I'll just send you the programme. If there's anything that you want, let me know. So she sent me the programme, and I was like, oh my God, Cabin Boy Knits are there. And she's like, oh, do you like them? I'm like, oh my God, I love Cabin Boy Knits. So she goes, right, okay, well, what do you want? I said, well, I know that they've got a special Knit City colourway, especially for Knit City, so I'd really like that. Oh, she's spoiled me rotten. So when she got to Knit City, she actually FaceTimed me from Knit City at the Cabin Boy Knits stall, and I managed to speak to them. It was fantastic. So I had a real fangirl moment. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. But she took me around the stall on FaceTime. It was just fantastic. And she sent me a package. It came just after the podcast last time. And oh my God, she bought me this beautiful bag. Isn't it gorgeous? And on my, hang on a minute, on this one, where I keep all my badges, that is that one there. Can you see it? I've got a Cabin Boy Knits pin, and there it is, a Knit City pin. Oh, that's my Yarndale one all twisted. So I was so impressed. I'll show you as I'm going along what else she got me. But yeah, she did get me this bag and a mug as well, which is beautiful. So living in my Cabin Boy Knits bag, I did cast on the Vertices Unite by Stephen West. Wow, this is a big project, isn't it? I didn't expect it to be such a big project. I don't know why. It's a Stephen West. What was I thinking? But I've cast it on. I was showing the colours last week. In fact, it's not even in this bag. This is the wrong bag. Let me find my Stephen West. It's in this bag. I'll talk about the bags in a minute. I was showing the colours last week and I wasn't sure what colours I was going to do. So I'm going to go through the colours that I've chosen. But it is the Vertices Unite by Stephen West. I think you've all seen it, but if you haven't, this is the picture. Now, for section 1, I have got, this is a Cascade Heritage, and this one was dyed by my friend Jane. Isn't it gorgeous? This one is called Tiger Feet. It's beautiful. So I'm striping these two together for the first section. And this is what I'm getting. Isn't it gorgeous? I've still got a lot of stripes to put into this before I even decrease. This is just section 1. And there are, how many sections? There we go. So I'm here, section 1. So there's quite a few sections to go. So this is going to be a really big project. But yeah, so I'm striping those two. And I'm also going to use this one. This yarn is by my friend Megan, who is Pearl Passion. Isn't it gorgeous? And this is the Cabin Boy Knit City colourway. And it's... This was... Has it got a name on it? I don't think it has. This is Palworth Superwash, 400 metres, colour Sequoia, Oak, Sumac and Cochineal, I think that says. Can you read that? Isn't it beautiful? This was the colourway that I wanted. It's just gorgeous. So I got that. So I've written all my colours down. Let me have a look. It's going to be really difficult to try and show you which section I'm doing. I'll just show you all the colours. So I've got this one, or these two, and then these two, and then this one. So they're going to be all my colours in the shawl. I think it looks really nice. Does that seem right? That seems like I've got too few colours now. Hang on a minute. Yeah, 5 colours. 2 in there, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so I think it's going to look really, really nice. But it's going to take ages. It's actually going to take ages. But that's fine. This won't be the cable that I'm waiting for to cast on the other shawl. Oh dear me. So yeah, I'm just going to take my time with it. I think this one is the biggest section, to be honest. That's the section. I'm going to go into this section here, which is much smaller. And this one's just a plain section, so it should work out. It's going to take me ages. So that is that. Pop that all back in my bag. And this one is living in a bag that my friend Sue from Canada sent me at the same time as she sent me the other ones. She sent me this beautiful, beautiful project bag. And she sent me 2 of these, a sock one and this sweater one. Isn't it gorgeous? So I'm really pleased with that. I absolutely love it. Oh, I've forgotten to put my pattern back in the bag. Oh dear. So that is my first, is it my first work in progress? Yes. So the second work in progress is living in my Cabin Boy knits bag. Now, this one was the other one that I was inspired to cast on by Davina of Little Workroom Crafts. She had made this and she'd made one for her daughter in the most gorgeous pink I've ever seen. It's beautiful. So I decided to cast one on. Now, this is the Whitmore Cardigan. I'll pop a picture on the screen. There's not a great deal to see yet with this. because I only cast it on last week, then got sidetracked with the wrap. But so far, this is what I've done. I'm really pleased with it. Really, really enjoying this. I don't know if I'll slow down once I get to the stocking stitch and it gets a bit boring because you're going back and forth knitting and purling, which I don't really mind. Why has that needle come out? No, it hasn't. So with the Whitmore cardigan, what you do is you work the button band at the same time as the rest of the cardigan. So you've got the button band stitches on DP ends. It does tell you to use wooden DP ends, which I didn't have any. So I've just got the metal ones. And I'm doing all right. It gets a little bit fiddly when you get to this bit, but I think I'm sort of getting used to it a bit more now. But I just love, look at that, isn't it gorgeous? And the yarn is, again, Stylecraft Special. This one is Petrol, and it is a DK weight yarn. I do like Stylecraft Special. I've made the Weekender in it, and I made the Whitmore jumper in the Stylecraft Special, and they've all just washed beautifully. The Weekender's starting to pill a little bit now, but I've worn it a lot. It just needs the pills taken off it, but yeah, it's a gorgeous yarn, and it just washes lovely, and it blocks really nice. I always give it a steam block, and it's always nice. So that is my Whitmore cardigan. Can't really see anything yet, but if I had it on. It's really lovely. The pattern isn't difficult at all because you put so many stitch markers in. It's not difficult. All of the patterning is in between the stitch markers, so it's really not difficult. I made the Whitmore when I was really I'm still a beginner knitter. Or maybe slightly more than a beginner knitter, but by no means anything more than that. And I made the Whitmore last year when I'd only just started learning to knit, and I had no problem with it because of the amount of stitch markers in it. It's absolutely fine. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying that one. And that's just plodding along. I find that I can't pick it up quite so much because I'm still on the yoke section and having to concentrate on it. When there's a lot going on, I can't really concentrate as much. So sometimes I have to put it down. If the kids, I really need to file that nail, it keeps catching on everything. If the kids are all being noisy or one thing or another, sometimes I can't always work on that one, but it's getting there. And I'll just keep on picking it up and putting it down. The next work in progress is another Davina inspired one. This is what I was talking about earlier. These are the By the Shore socks. I cast these on after the last episode. Now, let's see if I can show you a picture. I think there's a cover picture on this. No, there isn't. I'll show you that bit. No, you can't really see that. I'll pop a picture on the screen of the socks. Right. I do have one, so I can show you one. I completed one of them. These are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. For someone that's always stuck with vanilla socks, honestly, I am just all about the pattern socks now. I've taken a complete U-turn. I have always said I don't like pattern socks, and I've done a total U-turn. Since I did the Diagon Alley socks, which I've worn 3 times since I made them, and I need another pair, so I'm going to make another pair of the Diagon Alley socks. And now these, I mean, just look at those. Look at that pattern. Take it off the blocker. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? It's just beautiful. I love it. So the yarn is Stylecraft All Stars. It's all about the Stylecraft yarn today, isn't it? Stylecraft All Stars in the colourway Splash, which is these. I got these for Mother's Day from my eldest son. And the contrast mini that I used is from Sheep on Mars. I'm not sure what the colourway is because it's Deep Stash. But I've had it well over a year, and I've been using it for heels, toes and cuffs. But yeah. So the second sock is cast on. And I've just got another repeat to do before I do the heel on this one. Isn't it gorgeous? They're a really, really nice pattern.
and really easy to memorise as well. These were easier to memorise than the Diagon Alley socks. I haven't really had to look at the pattern for these. As long as I've got a row counter, I'm absolutely fine. So I just did, these are a 64 stitch sock. I've done these on 2.5mm needles, and that is a 1x1 rib. And then again, the pattern called for a heel flap and gusset, but I just put the shadow wrap heel in and the standard Kitchener toe. But yeah, they're just gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. So that is them. And they are living in my Frenchy bag. This is one of mine that I've made. Gorgeous lining in there as well. So I'm hoping these ones will be finished by the end of the week. And then I've got 3, I want to do some more of the Diagon Alley socks, and then I've got a couple of patterns on Ravelry that are nice socks. I might cast on one of them. I don't know yet. I'm not going to say what I'm casting on this week because I've no idea. I've absolutely no idea. And last work in progress is my Alina Shawl. For some reason, this one is taking a while. It looks like I've made no progress whatsoever, but I did leave the progress keeper in, and I'm all tangled in the yarn. And I was here last time on the podcast, so I've done quite a bit. I don't know why it's taking so long. I really don't. I pick it up and I start knitting on it, and I really, really enjoy it. It's easy, the chart's easy to follow, I have absolutely no problems with it. But then I don't pick it up for 3 days. So it'll get there, it's just getting there really slowly. I do really like it. It's just taking a while. It's really soft as well. The yarn for this one is Stylecraft Special 4-ply in black. And this one is one of Danny's colourways. I think it was called, I can't remember what it was called. My friend Caroline actually bought this for me, which is gorgeous. I love it. So it's just taking a while. I mean, I absolutely love it. I'm going to carry on with it. I love the cable detail down the side. And when you've finished it, you put a knot in the bottom of it. It's going to be really long. Basically, you'll just keep on increasing, until you've used half of the yarn and then decrease. And I've not used anywhere near half of the yarn yet. So I've got a fair while to go increasing. I think I always kind of, with a big project, until I get to the part where I can see the end, do you know what I mean? You kind of get to that middle section where it just seems to be taking forever and there's no end in sight, and all of a sudden you think, oh, okay, I've done all that, and then I can finish it. It's anybody else feel like that? This is just at the hump section. That's what's wrong with it. It's just at the hump. I think once I start getting to the point where I'm nearly going to be decreasing, I think I'll be picking this up a lot more. It's just at that section where it seems to be going on forever and there's no end in sight. But yeah, it is getting there. So that is that. And that is all my works in progress at the moment. That is everything I have. So I don't think I've done too bad. No, I don't think I've done too bad. I didn't cast on as many as I thought I would. But I did enjoy casting on everything that I wanted to. So, yeah. I want to show you something. I saw 2 patterns this morning on Ravelry. Let me just go into my Ravelry. I'll show you on the iPad. I don't know if this is a new pattern by Hokey Lokey or it's been out a while, but I only found it this morning on Ravelry. My notebook. So this is a new pattern by Hokey Lokey and it's called the Odyssey Shawl. It's a DK weight shawl. And this is it. You see that? Isn't it gorgeous? That is free on Ravelry. And she'd said in the description, the making of this pattern was paid by all of you knitters as a community. By supporting me and my family, you are allowing me to do a job I love, and I'm giving that back. And by supporting, I don't only mean buying my patterns. Support also comes from all the love you send me with your messages. I couldn't do it without you. Therefore, because you are a member of this community, this is a pattern from me to all of you. Isn't that just... Oh, I've lost it again. Hang on a minute. I'll show you this picture. Isn't that just gorgeous? And what a lovely thing to do. There you go. So that's the Odyssey shawl, and that is free on Ravelry. So I'll be downloaded. I've downloaded it already. I don't know why it's not in my library. And I've got some DK weight yarn upstairs that I want to use, so I will be casting that on. Not soon because I need my needles. But yeah, I'll be casting that one on. Now let me see if I can find the other one. The other one is a sock pattern that I found this morning, and it's only free for the first week in May. Where's my library gone? This is why I can't use Ravelry. I find it so difficult, library. This should be in my library because I've only just downloaded it this morning. And it's not. It's not there. How strange. And I can't look in my phone either because... Right, okay. We'll do this without being able to name the socks. I'll put a picture on the screen now of these socks, and I will put the name on the screen as well. I can't remember what the name was. I literally saw them this morning as I was flicking through Ravelry waiting to take Finn to school. So I didn't get a chance to make any notes on it. But they are free for the first week in May, so they're only free for another couple of days, and they look beautiful. So, excuse me. If you like these socks, I would highly recommend you going to have a look at this pattern while it's still free, or up to you, whatever. But yeah, they are free for the first week in May. So what, we're on the 5th today. So I'm just sitting editing the video, and I didn't realise the camera had cut out when it cut out. I knew the camera had cut out, and I thought I'd sort of managed to catch it as it did it, but clearly I didn't. So I'm really sorry. Halfway through me talking about the socks, the camera just cuts out. I'm really sorry about that. I had finished speaking about the socks anyway. They're a free pattern on Ravelry for the first week in May. I will link them in the description box below. Right, back to the video. So yes, and I think that is everything for all the knitting content. I feel like I had a lot, and then I don't know, I seem to have gone through it quite quickly. Take a drink of my coffee. So on to other stuff. Our advent calendars are currently on sale at the moment. That listing will come down on Sunday. So if you haven't purchased your advent calendar yet, then do think about doing it before Sunday, because that's when the listing will come down. So they will be shipped out Monday, hopefully Monday next week, could be Tuesday if we get orders in Sunday and they're not dry in time. But yeah, they'll be shipped out next week. And then the next shop update will be on the 1st of June. We did an Instagram live last week. For those of you that haven't seen the Instagram live, we did talk about the updates, because we'd normally do our updates mid-month. And with the advent calendars coming out on the 1st, we kind of thought everything needs to come out in one time, one update for everything. So that's how we're going to do it from now on. So all of our updates and anything else we do will be on the 1st of every month. So everybody always knows when our updates are, which kind of means we've missed May, but we'll make up for it in June. So the other thing that we talked about in the Instagram live was pricing. Etsy have put their seller fees up, which I tried so hard not to increase our prices, but the charges on the last time were quite a bit higher, so we've had to put the prices up. Everything's going up by £1, except the advent calendars. The advent calendars will stay as they are because they were a set price when we did those, but everything else is going up by £1. So I'm really, really sorry about that. There's just, the charges are so much higher on Etsy, and we still need to make a bit of a living on it. So I do apologise for that, but I hope that you all understand. But yeah, so the next update is the 1st of June, and that is when we'll pick the first winner for the make along as well. So yeah, it's going to be, we've got some, sorry, I've got fibre on my lip. It's going to be a busy day today. We've got some dyeing to do today. All of the yarn order has just arrived. There's a huge box at the bottom of the stairs. So we're going to have to go through all that soon and get all that out and dye that up. We've got some DK weight this time, which I'm really excited about. So there'll be some DK going into the shop as well. So that is it for the shop talk. On to life updates. Well, what have we got to talk about on this? There's not been a great deal happening. I did have my blood tests for the diabetes last week. Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. I haven't got the results because they lost the blood tests, so I'm still none the wiser. I had some more again yesterday, so hopefully they won't lose these and I'll get my results. But I had a really bad week last week. I think it started not weekend gone, the weekend before. I just kept getting really, really shaky and heart palpitations and sweating. I was getting really concerned by it. So I tested my blood sugars and they were low. I was speaking to the doctor on the Thursday anyway, so I mentioned it to her and she said, well, how often is this happening? I said, well, quite often really. It just keeps happening. So I went in to see her and she checked everything. She goes, well, don't let these sugars go low. They shouldn't be under 5. And I think at this point they were like down to 4. She goes, you need to have something sweet to bring these sugars back up. We need to keep them at a stable level. So that was on the Thursday. But it kept happening, and my sugars kept going down. And I was feeling really poorly, really shaky, sweaty, really not well at all. And then on the Saturday, it happened again. So I was trying to, I think I'd had half a packet of biscuits trying to raise my blood sugars, and they wouldn't stay high and they kept going back down, and I was feeling rubbish again. So I rang 111 and got some advice. And they said, oh, we're just going to send you to A&E. So they did that. I spent all Saturday night in A&E. I got no sleep. I didn't get home till 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. I was so tired. But they'd said that the doctor had written to a specialist when I'd spoken to her on the Thursday. So they were able to contact this specialist, and they'd said there that you have hyperreactive hypoglycemia, whatever it is. Basically, my body overproduces insulin, and that's why you're having these episodes. So you need to eat every 3 hours. I thought, right, okay. And just make sure that the sugars are above 5 and don't drive if they're not. So I was like, right, okay, that's fine. So I came home Sunday morning and still I was having the same problem. I couldn't seem to raise them. By this point, I'm eating so many biscuits that I'm thinking I'm diabetic. I can't keep eating this amount of biscuits. So I spoke to the doctor again on Tuesday just to ask her advice again, because I said, I don't know what else I can do. So it was just, the thing is, when you're diagnosed with diabetes, there is no information. There is absolutely no information. The doctors, I don't think, have enough information. They don't know enough about it. You're basically told to eat healthy. So the doctor's advice was to lose weight. And I said, well, I've lost 2 stone in 2.5 months. I don't know what else I can do. She goes, well, your BMI is still 26.5 and we want it at 25. So you could do with shaving off some more weight. And I was just like, I'm doing my absolute best. And I said, I'm really not happy about this because, you're telling me that my sugar shouldn't be low. You're telling me that I've got to eat all this healthy stuff. And now to lose more weight, I'm doing my absolute best and I'm trying to eat the healthy stuff. But if my sugars keep going low and I've got to keep eating the chocolate biscuits, then that's not the healthy stuff. So in the end, she said, right, well, I'm going to speak to a specialist and I'll ring you back, which was great. She took my sugars again. At that point, they were 4.5. So I was like, right, okay. Anyway, later on that day, I think this was Tuesday, I had an actual specialist nurse ring me from the hospital, and she was absolutely brilliant. And she said, one of 2 things is happening. She said, either when you're heavier, your body needs to produce more insulin because you're at a heavier weight. And she says, because you've lost weight quickly, then your body's still overproducing the insulin, which is causing these dips. She said, so it will be that it just levels out. You just have to manage the symptoms and it'll just calm down and it'll just level out. So that's option 1. That's what it could be. Says the other option is that you've just put your diabetes into remission. She said, and there's no problem. So I was like, right, okay. So one of those two things, which makes much more sense. I can understand that your body produces more insulin if you're at heavier weight. So that made a lot of sense. And so I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for blood tests to see which one it is. It's either that I've got the diabetes into remission, or it's that my body is still overproducing insulin from when I was the heavier weight. So I don't know. I'm still waiting. Hopefully I'll get blood test results back today and I'll know either way. I'm hoping that I've put diabetes into remission, but if I haven't, then I haven't. But either way, things will level out, and I do feel much better than I did last week. It seemed to have happened all of a sudden, and I just felt so poorly. I think probably why I got this wrap done, because I wasn't moving, I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting. I had no energy to do anything. I couldn't even get up off the sofa. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll get my blood test results back this week, but unless they lose them again, I don't know. These things happen, don't they? I find it a little bit frustrating that there is not more information. Certainly where we are. I know that in other parts of the country, when you're diagnosed with something like diabetes, they do sessions where you can go and learn what you need to learn. I didn't have that. It was just look on Google, follow the diabetes website, and good luck. There was no proper information, so you kind of go into it blind. So yeah, speaking to the specialist really helped. So I'm just waiting for results, see what happens. I don't know. So that was that. We had Danny's children over the weekend as well, which kind of put a dampener on the weekend, because I had my trip to the hospital, which kind of ruined our Saturday night game night. But we're going to have 2 game nights next weekend to make up for it. But yeah, other than that, there's not been a great deal going on. I've been feeling like rubbish. So I've not really done anything other than sit and crochet on my wrap, which I love and brought me such a lot of comfort. And watch podcasts. And I've started watching Downton Abbey again. There's the new Downton Abbey movie coming out, isn't there? So I've started watching Downton Abbey again. I've started back at season 1. Oh my God, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. I'm going to watch the whole lot again before I watch the movie. Josh is going to the pictures on Friday with Danny. I think he's going to see Doctor Strange. And then me and Danny are going out on Saturday night. We've got a night out booked. Danny's brother's got engaged, so we're going to go and celebrate their engagement with them. So we've ordered a new outfit each, because I've got no clothes to wear because nothing fits. So I've ordered a new top. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a really nice night. Me and Danny haven't been out for a while, so it'll be really nice to go out. We're going into Leeds, so that will be lovely. Jake's babysitting. Jake and his girlfriend are babysitting. And yeah. So yeah, it's been a funny old 2 weeks really. After the last podcast, I didn't expect all the drama and everything else, but I've had a great 2 weeks. It's been really nice. The weather's been lovely, and I think the weather's starting to pick up now. It's starting to get more warm. But yeah, it's just been... I hope you've all had a good 2 weeks. You haven't had any dramas. I think I had something else to tell you, but I can't think what it was. I'm sure there was something else. Jake's girlfriend's still here at the moment. They're moving out. She's having some work done on her house, so she's staying with us at the moment. And then Jake is moving in with her. So it's going to be really weird. It's going to be really weird when Jake moves out. I'm so pleased, obviously, so pleased for him, but it's going to be strange. But Finlay will finally get his own room. Finlay and Josh share at the moment. And Josh is 15. He's too old to be sharing a room, really. So Finlay will finally get his own room, so he's super excited about that. So he's absolutely football crazy. I think he's going to want it decorated football style. So I'm going to have to get inventive with how I do that. So yeah, and I think that's been my 2 weeks really. Over the next 2 weeks, like I say, there's not a great deal of plans. Yeah, it's just plodding along. Just plodding along. Anyway, I am really waffling now, so I'm really sorry, everybody. I'm going to get off, stop waffling. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely 2 weeks, and Oh, we're going to do, before I go as well, we are going to be doing June vlogs. So for those of you that do enjoy the vlogs, we will do June vlogs, obviously starting on the 1st of June. So that's going to be really, really exciting, to keep your eyes out for that. But I'll be podcasting before that anyway, so I'll be talking about it before that anyway. Because, yeah, anyway, I'm waffling. I'm going to go. I'll speak to you all in 2 weeks. See you later, everybody. Bye.